I think one of the most humbling facts about a Matrix movie is that I go in reasonably confident that I'm a relatively intelligent kind of guy, and then I leave knowing that I'm really not.
We can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious.
But this is the moment for you to show us what is real.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. Well, it has been 18 years since we last took a trip with this series, but it is time to plug yourself back in for The Matrix Resurrections. I want to be pretty scarce with my plot details here because the trailers give very little away, so here goes. Following on from the events of Revolutions, Neo finds himself trapped once again inside the Matrix. But this time, things are a heck of a lot different. Within this reality, he's searching to be reunited with Trinity, yet she doesn't seem to know who he is. And that is all you're getting. Similar to the first Matrix, you really don't know what you're getting yourself in for until you are sat in that seat and the movie starts. And even then, Lana Wachowski and her screenwriting team do a brilliant job at not showing their cards straight away. The first act of this film is disorienting to say the least, and it moves like the clappers, so I can only pray that you are able to keep up with it. But what I got from it, at least, was that it was trying to be an innovative commentary on the current state of filmmaking, how we as a collective audience are ever reliant on remakes, reboots, and sequels. And knowing this, the screenplay then evolves into this meta and self-referential text that, even though I didn't have a clue where it was going, I actually had a lot of fun trying to unpick all the details. Unfortunately, as we near the second act, this concept that I had bought into in the first act kinda just gets discarded, and it then follows a more pedestrian and rudimentary story of a kind of like rescue and revenge angle. And that was a bit weird because, look, considering that the series has varied in quality, The Matrix has always prided itself on being a pretty original concept. And yet, with the focus now away from all that meta stuff that was going on before, honestly, I did begin to lose considerable interest in the story it was telling. But credit where it's due, Resurrections actually does a pretty good job in getting us to care about Neo and Trinity, something which I thought was a bit of a problem in both Reloaded and Revolutions. And both Keanu Reeves and Carrie Moss, you can tell that they clearly love being back in this world, especially Carrie Moss. This film shines such a bright light on the character of Trinity, which we never really got in the original trilogy. As for newcomers, Jessica Henwick might just steal the show from everyone as a new character called Bugs. Now, we know that she's a pretty dab hand at action, and she more than showcases it here. And I really like the pairing of both her and Lana Wachowski. I'm very intrigued to see what they could do in future projects. I think that would be a damn good combo to have. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II takes over from Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus. Now, I do like the fact that the story at least gave a proper reason as to why there was this recast and actually put effort into it. But his character gets shockingly little to do once the story begins to take shape. And our villains this time round, they're a bit of a mixed bag. Agent Smith returns, but this time not as Hugo Weaving and instead played by Jonathan Groff, who, you know what, I actually think does a pretty good job in the role. The same, however, cannot be said for Neil Patrick Harris. To put it bluntly, his performance just missed the mark for me. No surprises when it comes to the visuals and the action. Lana Wachowski knows how to direct the absolute shit out of a film. And I like this time around that the action's a little bit more gritty and a lot less gravity defying. And despite the story failing to really sink its hooks into me, the final act does a pretty good job at clawing back some brownie points. It is pretty entertaining. All in all, The Matrix Resurrections started out bizarrely, but undeniably fascinating. But as soon as we got more into the main story at hand, my overall intrigue soon began to dissipate. The returning cast are great to see back in action, and most of the newer faces are welcome additions too. It's entertaining enough that the 2.5-hour runtime didn't drag, but truth be told, given the disappointing lack of exploration, I don't think Resurrections can quite justify its existence. So I'm going to give The Matrix Resurrections a 6.5 out of 10. Anyway guys, those were my thoughts on The Matrix Resurrections. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I would like to know, what order would you put the Matrix films? For me personally, we're going to start off number 5 with The Matrix Revolutions. It's a mess. It's all over the shot, and I don't think it really provides a fulfilling climax. Then we're going to have The Matrix Resurrections. This one, I've kind of given my thoughts already, but it does the job. I just don't think that the potential that it had at its disposal was fully capitalized on. Then in at number 3 is The Matrix Reloaded. Yes, I think it may lack in terms of providing sufficient character development, but I also think that it has arguably the best action in the entire series. They really stuck the landing in that respect. It's just the story is kind of a bit eh. In at number 2, surprisingly, not enough people talk about, is The Animatrix. It's like an hour and 40 minutes comprised of 9 animated shorts, all telling different stories involving the Matrix. It was co-written by Lana and Lily Wachowski, or at least some of the shorts were. 2 in particular, the ones describing the history of how the Matrix was formed, is just fascinating and really uses the medium of animation at its full disposal to create some amazing shorts. And then of course at number 1 is The Matrix. It is one of the most pioneering science fiction stories cinema has ever seen. It is fascinating to watch and unpick, and it has become an icon in pop culture. I can watch it anytime and get myself completely enwrapped in everything that's going on. I love it. But there we are. That is all we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.